Hey, it's your girl Alleygside, and you're watching my channel. I've been AWOL for a bit of time now, and if you have followed any of my videos, you've probably seen like in the last couple where I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna come back to YouTube, like I'm gonna make more videos, that kind of thing. But obviously I've been gone for a while now. So anyway, I figured I would let you guys know why I've been gone. If you watched my vlog, you've seen that I graduated. Since then, I've just been working a lot, and that's not really a big deal. But I've been applying to law schools. In doing that, obviously I had to take the LSAT. The LSAT is the law school admissions test. So that's been occupying all of my time, just studying for that. I've taken it twice now, and I figured why not just tell you guys about what that's like. It was a very different experience both times, but I figured I could share my experience with you if you're planning to apply to law school, if you're thinking about it, if you're planning to take the LSAT, maybe this will help you, I don't know. My first experience with taking the LSAT. So I took it in like June? July? Something like that. I took an online class with Kaplan. I don't know if it's just me or if it's online classes in general, but taking it online did not do for me what taking it in person would have. The Kaplan course, you take like 3 tests to gauge where you're at. You take one before the course, one in the middle of the course, and one at the end to just kind of gauge what kind of score you'd be getting. So the first time I took it, I got like a 151 or something before studying. So I ended up taking the midpoint test, and I scored like 2 or 3 points lower than I did on my first one before studying. And after that I was super disheartened, so I was like, okay, let's not study anymore because clearly it's not helping. I just gave up. And then going into the LSAT my first time, I was like, okay, well, this isn't going well. I took it at Loyola Law School the first time. Kaplan suggests that you drive to your testing center before you actually take the test there. But they suggest you do it a week before so you can do it the actual day that you'd be doing it, so you can gauge what traffic would be like on that day. I'm not that much of a planner, so I only ended up going like a couple days before. But that definitely helped because I felt a lot more confident, and I get really bad anxiety about any kind of test and going anywhere that I'm not used to. Actually driving to the test center and like seeing what room I was gonna be reporting to and all that was really helpful. However, I did practice in the room that I thought I was gonna be in. They tell you what room to report to. So I go into that room and it was unlocked, so I sat there and I did some practice problems, but day of the test, I get there and that's not the room we're actually in. So that threw me off a little bit. I'm an overthinker. I definitely get super nervous. So if you're like me, you want to minimize as much change as you can, and I think I wasn't really prepared to not be in that room. My first testing experience, I get there, I have plenty of time. I was prepared as I could be in terms of like knowing my surroundings and having what I could and could not have. Check-in took forever. We were all separated into different rooms, so I get stuck in some room, and it was actually a pretty decent room, the library, I guess. There was a good amount of space, like everyone had a good amount of space at their desk, which was pretty great. But ultimately the LSAT problems, I get them. Like 100%, I like them, I enjoy doing them, but there's just not enough time to do them. My first section I think I had was like reading comp or something, and I was like, okay, yeah, like reading comp, I'm good at this. Then I started doing it and I'm like, oh, like I like what this passage is about. I know this in my personal life, like this is one of my interests. So I'm getting super into it. And then I end up hearing 5 minutes, and I've gone through maybe 2 passages. And I start panicking. So then I just start rushing, skimming the next couple passages and trying to answer as many questions as I can. I think overall, at the end of the test, I had maybe 3 sections where I just had half of them blank. So ultimately, my first experience was not the greatest. I get my score back, I got like a 149 or something. I'm like, okay, not awful, I could get into schools with that if I want, but I'm not willing to settle for that because I don't want to feel limited by my score. So I'm like, okay, let's come down to it, I'll take it again, and I'll take an in-person class. This time I ended up retaking the Kaplan course, but actually taking it in person. For me, in person worked way better. It may have been because I took the online course before, but I felt a lot more confident when I was studying the material in class. I actually like made it through the whole course this time, but overall I saw an improvement and I was super stoked. Definitely suggest an in-person class if you're like me and you know that you're not really gonna make yourself study and do the online class. If you can afford it and if you can put the time into it, take an in-person class, because you're just gonna do better than you would in an online class. I'm feeling a lot more prepared and going into my second test. My second test I took at the Millennium Biltmore, I think. I was a lot more nervous about driving to the testing center. I went there a couple of days before with a couple of my friends and we just checked out the area around LA and that kind of stuff. We got to the hotel and the parking situation was definitely an issue. And when I got there, there was only valet. So we pull into there and it was like $4 per minute or something with a cap of like $35. We go and we walk into my testing center. We see like this whole convention going on and I'm going into like the room that I'm supposed to report to. But they have this lecture going on, so I just kind of sneak in the back and sit down and start working on some practice problems. The day of the test, we all start lining up against a wall and waiting for them to let us in. This time I kind of feel a little bit more relaxed, so I start talking to the people around me. Honestly, I can tell you it helped a lot more to talk to the people around me. The first time I reported to my testing center, I just kind of kept to myself, didn't talk to anyone, and I felt a lot more nervous. But talking to other people made me feel a lot more confident. I don't know if you'll feel the same way. I'm kind of a social person, so it helps me to talk to other people and know that like everyone's all in the same boat. And they start checking our bags and stuff. I brought the exact same bag that I brought the first time. I literally had it in my closet and just was waiting to use it again. So I end up taking it out and handing it to the lady. She's checking it, and then she looks at my ibuprofen. And she goes, "Oh, you can't bring that in." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, you have to have like accommodations to bring that in." And I'm just like, I don't think that's the case, but okay. Like, hopefully I don't get cramps, whatever. And then but the girl was super nice about it, and she was like, "Oh, well, if you get cramps, like you can come to me and I'll hook you up with some ibuprofen." We get our stuff checked, and then we take our little sheet with our picture on it and stuff, and we sign it in front of the people, showing that like we acknowledge all the rules and stuff, and then we go in to sit down. This time it was like a lot bigger of a room than I was in. All of us were split into 2 rooms. Our tables were a little bit weird. They were like old and like wooden and like, I don't know how to describe it, like dirty, like softwood. Writing on it kind of sucked because like your pencil would like sink in and that kind of thing. When I was like marking bubbles and like writing stuff, like I had like brown marks on the other side of my page, which hopefully I haven't gotten my score back yet, but hopefully that's not going to affect anything. So there were people who were questioning the quality of the desk. It was overall a weird desk situation, but overall my second experience was a lot better. Hopefully you don't have to take it twice. If you do, the second time goes a lot smoother. You know what to expect and you know how it goes. It could just be my nerves, it could just be the overall environment, but taking it a second time was definitely helpful. Taking it a first time, if you don't do the greatest, just know that it's experience and it helped you, and if you're taking it again, you'll do a lot better in terms of nerves and how you feel. I still haven't gotten my score yet, so we'll see if we actually did better. The LSAT is scary. It's a lot to think about and a lot to be worried about, but you just gotta try to minimize as much of that fear as you can and just go in there thinking you're gonna do your best and just try to have fun. This is you setting the pace for your entire future. Just try your best. Just try to be positive, try to be relaxed. Don't do what I did, don't be nervous. If you don't have time to finish an entire section, don't let that weigh you down. Don't let that get in the way of you doing well on other sections. I hope any of this helped you. Sorry it was kind of all over the place. I just kind of wanted to get all of this out there and talk to you guys about what the LSAT was like for me. If you have any weird stories of your own about the LSAT, or if you're planning to take it and you want any extra advice, hit me up and I will get in touch with you and I will let you know whatever you want. If you want to talk about what you're worried about, if you want to talk about any more of my experiences, I'm glad to be here for you. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If not, sorry, I don't always make content like this, but just recently I thought it was kind of fun to like share my experience and try to help other people if I can. So yeah, I don't know how to end a video anymore. If you liked this, subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Check out my social medias, all linked down below. Yeah. Okay. Bye.